2 weeks after Thanksgiving, the Student Council holds a meeting to discuss the preparations for the Christmas season. I hadn't been invited to this meeting last year with my memory loss, and I wondered what everyone else at the school must have thought to see that I was barely involved with maintaining my treasury duties. At least I could say that I still made sure to deliver packages and allowances on time. Something told me that I would not have been reelected if people never got their weekly $5 stipend. "Hello, my bright and shiny baubles," Potsdam exclaims as she greets us. "Today we will begin making arrangements for the Christmas season." I notice Daniel begins to shift uncomfortably beside me, and it catches Potsdam's attention. "Daniel, do you have a question?" Just one," Daniel offers. "Hanukkah and Ramadan both just ended, and we didn't do anything for them. Why does Iris Academy only celebrate Christmas?" "What a thoughtful question," Potsdam replies as she claps both of her hands together. "We do not celebrate the religious aspects of Christmas, only the cultural ones. In this country, Christmas and New Year's are considered general public holidays, like Thanksgiving. Of course, individual students are welcome to celebrate their own traditions. Does that answer your question?" Daniel nods his head. "Oh, good. Now, as I was saying, it is our goal to foster goodwill and good relationships among our students. For this year's Secret Santa event, I thought it would be fun if you all worked amongst yourselves to create the matchings between your classmates. I'd like you to assign people who are almost but not quite friends. Who knows what a little nudge in the right direction might do?" She looks pointedly at me when she says this, but I just look away. Last year, she had set me up so that I would get Hieronymous, and then she had tricked me into giving him my diary. At least it had given him an excuse to give me the stone I still wore around my neck. Even though I could still fall asleep listening to his heartbeat in person now, I still liked the assurance that he was close to me, wherever I went. "So, what do you guys think?" Jacob asks. "Does anyone have any good ideas for pairings?" I was thinking Ellen and Luke, maybe," I suggest. "I mean, Luke is Donald's roommate, but I never see all three of them hang out at all. It's either Donald and Ellen or Donald and Luke. Maybe the Secret Santa will give them something to talk about." "That's not a bad idea," Jacob agrees. "Maybe we can match Donald and Logan up too. I see the three of them hang out sometimes, but not often. They seem to run in different circles. What do you think, Minnie? Any ideas?" We both turn to Minnie, who is nervously looking at me. What's wrong? Do I have something on my face?" "No, it's not that," Minnie says with a quick shake of her head. "I'm just thinking about last year. Who would it be appropriate to partner you up with?" Jacob tilts his head to the side in confusion as he looks back at me. "Who'd you get last year?" "Grabby," I reply teasingly. He looks surprised, but I just stick my tongue out at him. We had never formally discussed the fact that I was married to a teacher, and I wasn't going to start today. Although, considering what happened last year, that made sense. This year, however, it doesn't really matter who I get matched up with, especially if we end up just making cards for each other in the gymnasium. "There's a high likelihood of that happening," Jacob says as he pushes his glasses up the bridge of his nose. "I think we have a good start," Minnie says. "I'll talk to some girls in Butterfly Hall. Maybe we can reach out to more girls from Snake Hall. They mostly keep to themselves. Jacob, will you reach out to the boys in Falcon Hall and try to see if they know anyone who doesn't have many friends in Toad Hall?" "Can do," Jacob replies simply. "Great," Minnie says with a smile. "I need to get to the library for my tutoring sessions, but I'll let you know if I think of anything else." With that, she heads out, and Jacob and I both watch her go. "Well, that's Minnie for you," Jacob says as he turns back to me. "Hey, let's take a walk. There are some things I've been meaning to talk to you about." "Oh, sure," I reply. "I know you need funding for the Christmas newsletter. Just find me whenever you draft up the paperwork and I'll authorize the funds. No biggie." "Oh, yeah," Jacob says quickly. Yeah, Potsdam wasn't happy that we dropped the ball with the Thanksgiving newsletter, so we need to pull out all the stops for this one. At least you have double the budget, I tease him. The one for the dark dance you did was cool, though. Yeah, Jacob says as he lets his voice trail off. So, you're married to Professor Grabiner, is that right? That's right, I reply, almost a bit uncertainly. I had never formally discussed my relationship with Grabby with anyone besides Minnie, Virginia, Ellen, and Donald. I supposed I would have to learn how to address it eventually, but not knowing what kinds of questions he might ask definitely made me nervous. From what I've heard from Minnie, you want to actually make the relationship work, Jacob continues. But you're a wild seed, and there's a lot you don't know about magical families. I'm not technically a wild seed, I tell him quickly, and he turns to me with an eyebrow raised. This wasn't information I was planning on sharing with everyone, but Jacob's family was well connected. If he knew, he might tell his fathers, and then it might spread into the magical community. I wasn't sure how, but that could potentially benefit me one day, especially considering how many natural, magical-born families look down on wild seeds. Hieronymus' father did some digging, I explain. Apparently my mother was offered the choice, but she turned it down. So, although I was raised as a wild seed, I do apparently have some magical lineage from my mother's side. That's interesting, Jacob says, as if he means it. I have always been interested in magical history. Grabiner's father has one of the most interesting family backstories, if I've ever heard one. Have you met Aloysius Grabiner yet? I have, I replied noncommittedly. And? Jacob asks, but I just remain close-lipped, and we continue to walk in silence for a while. I can't stand him either, if that's what you're afraid to say. Okay, good, I reply, and we both let out an appreciative chuckle. Yeah, he is very, blunt about what he wants. I tell him what I want, but I don't think he really cares all that much. What do you want? Jacob asks, as if he's genuinely interested, but I just shake my head. That is a very good question, I reply honestly. Right now, it's to learn more about Grabiner's family history. It's not written down in any of the books that I've seen in the library, so I don't know how much I can find out on my own. The only way you can find out more is to talk to people who know the stories, Jacob replies, before he seems to bite back his words. But I don't think I'm in a position to share anything. Grabby might see it as gossip, and to be honest, he kind of scares me. That's fair, I reply. Lately, Hieronymus and I hadn't been on the best of terms, and his swings between Hieronymus and Professor Grabiner were starting to scare even me. A lot of it is just hearsay and rumor, anyway. Agreed, Jacob says. Murder plots, accidental drownings, poisoned dinners. It's all very Shakespearean. I can't help but laugh. I didn't know you read Shakespeare. The witch's presence in Macbeth prevent all of his works from being deemed low-roll culture, Jacob says with a wicked smirk. Besides, I'm pretty sure witches helped him write most of his best stories. Now I wish I had paid more attention in English class at my old school, I say as I tease him. Too bad they don't have any classes on witches and literature here. No, but then again, publishing anything about us is risky, he admits. You never know when someone might make the connection. That's fair, I say. I mean, from the perspective of a wild seed, it's all just fun and make-believe. It's cool to pretend that you have actual magical powers, but no one really believes in that beyond the age of 10. If anything, I think technology will expose us faster than anything someone might read in a book. Oh, that reminds me, Jacob says as he turns back to me. I haven't seen Ellen in class lately. Is she doing okay? She doesn't like how Potsdam told her magic and technology don't mix, I say with a shrug of my shoulders. But she's not going to go ahead and do anything about it. That's good, Jacob replies, the relief in his voice palpable. When I was home for Thanksgiving break, my fathers were talking about how concerned they were that the new freshmen are going to be so addicted to technology that Iris Academy won't be able to stop them from bringing it in. Apparently, some public schools now have remote learning where children get up and use a computer to access their education. They talk to their teacher and their classmates through a screen and submit all of their work on the device. Man, that sounds awesome, I say before I think on it. Although, actually, then I couldn't see my friends and I'd be stuck sitting in my room in the same chair all day. That sounds a lot less fun. Jacob just shakes his head as if he doesn't care one way or the other. But think about a student that was raised in that type of environment since birth, and then they come here and get told that they're not allowed to access any kind of technology. It would be difficult, I agree, especially face-to-face interaction. Like, how would they make friends? How would they eat in a communal cafeteria? I feel like the whole thing would be really overwhelming to them, especially at first. Exactly, Jacob continues. Some people think it might be better to allow students to have a small device or two, but Potsdam doesn't know anything about technology to know what would be safe to approve. Could you imagine if someone recorded a video of Grabby lighting a book on fire and shared it with the world? I shake my head back and forth so fast, I hurt my neck. Suddenly, I couldn't help but feel very protective of Hieronymous. People would probably just dismiss it as a joke, but even still, he would be furious. He hates anything that violates his privacy. Even if someone just recorded his lecture, he would still be upset about it. Completely, Jacob agrees. I don't mean to pry into your personal business, but how is your relationship? Does he act like he does in class? No, I say with a laugh. No, he won't like it if I share this with too many people, but he can be sweet when he wants to be. He is very private, but he doesn't treat me like he did in class last year, if that's what you're wondering. He was pretty rough on you, Jacob recalls. And then there were the rumors that he attacked you. Attacked isn't the right word, I reply. But what happened last year is in the past, and I am in no hurry to revisit that again. Good talk, though. Just make sure to give me the paperwork about the newsletter as soon as you can. Wait. Jacob stops, and I turn around to face him. I didn't say what I wanted to say. You know who my fathers are and how connected we are to, the magical community and everything. I recognize that this is new for you, but if there is any way we can offer our support to you or the Grabiner family, don't be afraid to ask. I didn't know anything about his family except that they were wealthy and well connected, but now didn't really seem like a good time to ask. Thank you, I reply. I'd offer you the same thing, but I don't think I'm in any position to be throwing the Grabiner name around. No, you aren't, Jacob says with a quick wave. Anyway, take care, Tori. I can't help but smile as I turn around and head towards the library to get my own studying in for the day before I head back to Hieronymus's room that night. I appreciated Jacob being friendly, and although that offer of support probably came from his parents looking to make another connection, did I always have to suspect that there were ulterior motives at play? I suspected there was because I seemed surrounded by people who wanted to use me and Hieronymus for something, but Jacob's family didn't seem to need us for anything. Maybe the only thing Jacob really did want me for was friendship, and I had plenty of that to go around.